Hello Vikings, and welcome back to the Valheim Guide, episode 15, I think. I'm pretty sure. I should really check this before I start the episode off, but hello, and welcome back. And today is, of course, all about the MODER fight, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title. Now, this is going to be something that I'm actually looking forward to. The boss fights are always good fun. And the first thing we're going to need to do is actually find MODER. So, as you might have seen in previous streams and videos and things, I have explored a few mountain biomes, and the one that I haven't really explored very well yet is this one just here that I've zoomed in on. Now, I've got a portal set up there, but I want to actually get some silver while I'm there because I plan to upgrade my Dragafang bow for this fight. I'm going to need silver for that. So what we're going to do is head off to this biome, because the first thing we need to do, of course, is find MODER's location. So when I get to the area in the mountain biome where I find the runestone needed to do that, I will of course show you guys how to do this on cam. So let's do a little cut and see where we end up. So there are a variety of different structures in the mountain biome, and one of the ones that you can find the runestone for MODER in is this one right here. So all you do is go in and go up to it, press E, and there you go. We've found MODER, and let's have a look. Well, it's a bit of a trek, but it's not too bad. At least now we have the location, and we can go and check out what that looks like. There's also a chest in here to look at with some goodies in, but we're carrying quite a lot of silver. But anyway, so that's how we find it, and that's how you will find it too. Look for these structures and keep going in so you find the runestone that has the MODER location. And here it is, guys. The MODER altar is here, and as you can see, there are 3 spots here where we're going to need to put in the dragon egg. So I'll come on to that in just a bit. But first of all, I want to have a little talk about when you find your altar, things that you should do. So one thing I've done is set myself up a portal that's quite nearby, because obviously if we die during the MODER fight, we want to get back here pretty quickly, so it's just over here, a nice protected portal. Now the other thing I'm going to do is actually, like, as part of my strategy for this fight, is kind of clear out a lot of this area, get rid of a lot of these trees and big rocks, and do a lot of flattening and stuff like that. Now I'll come on to why that is a bit later on in the video, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, show you what that looks like when it's done, and then we'll talk about the dragon eggs and then go on to the fight from there. Okay, so as you can see here around the altar, I have now made quite a clear area. It doesn't have to be perfect, as you can see, but it's nice and flat and open, and I can see everything that's going on. And you'll notice this thing right here. Now this is going to be our little bit of protection, because MODER is not able to do any damage to any sort of terrain, and obviously this being just a rock that I've lifted up out of the ground, it counts as terrain. So you'll see this in action later on during the fight, but essentially we can use this to hide behind and protect ourselves during the fight against MODER. I actually got this idea off of another YouTuber, and I'm going to link their video down in the description so you guys can check them out. Please do go show them some love. So the other thing to talk about now is the dragon eggs. Now I've got very lucky in that just over here there is actually a dragon egg. So 1/3 of my dragon eggs are going to be super simple to take. Now you probably will not get as lucky as this, so I'm going to talk about how we can transport them over longer distances, because as you can see here, one of these dragon eggs does weigh 200. So even if you've got the Mega Njord, you're at most going to be able to carry 2 at a time. So we'll go on to some more difficult ones in a second, but essentially let's take this to the altar and I'll show you what happens. So at the altar, all we're going to do is look at one of these things and press number 8 to attach the item, and there's a wolf here. Let's go kill this guy. But we're going to do that once we've done that 3 times. MODER will spawn in, as you guys will see in a bit. So in terms of finding the dragon eggs, you just want to be running around in the mountainous area of the mountain biome. So you can see, like, up here where you've got a lot of like hills and things. Oh my goodness, there's one right there. I honestly did not know there was one right there, but that's awesome for the video. This just proves my point. This is where you should look. And I was going to say as well, you'll often find drakes flying around them. So if you see like a few drakes together, or just a drake hovering like that one, there might be another one, in fact, over there. We'll check that out. But then you're obviously looking for these things right here, and you're going to go ahead and pick them up. Now, dragon eggs will respawn in these areas right here, and I'll put on screen right now exactly how long it takes for a dragon egg to respawn. I know it is quite a while, but you can see here you cannot teleport them. So your best bet really is to try and find them within the mountainous biome that your MODER spawner is, because getting them here from other biomes could be tricky. You might need to teleport them, transport them via boat via great distances, because obviously you can't teleport them. So there we go, number 2 is in, and let's see if we can find that 3rd one. I'll check out where that drake was hovering. So some of you may remember that I'm notoriously bad at looking after my boar in the game. I thought this was quite funny. I was actually out just to get some berries, and I found Boris. We are quite far from our base, so trying to get him back there would be ridiculous, because obviously, like, I just have to push him the whole way, and that would just take forever. But I won't kill him. We'll leave him. He's going on his way. Good luck to you, Boris. You just see if you can make it out here in the wild. Maybe our paths will meet again one day. He's not got much health left, but hopefully he'll be okay. And this one here is... Oh, wait. This is tame as well. This is a tame pet, but we didn't name him. This is just a tame boar. Okay, go look after Boris. You too got it. I just thought I'd mention that. I just found him while I was out traveling. It's time now to talk a little bit about the preparation for the MODER fight and what I'm going for and what I recommend. But obviously, guys, you can do this in your own way. And as always, I love to hear what you do down in the comments. But here is what I'm doing. So we'll start with the armor. And I've got myself pretty well upgraded Drake helmet there, which you've seen in previous episodes, along with the wolf armor. So we've got the cape here and the chest and the legs as well. Now, this is all level 1 stuff. You don't need to go crazy on the armor because MODER's attacks are actually avoidable, and coupled with the fact that I've got some decent healing meats here, I should be fine with my health. I've also brought some stamina meats just in case I need one as I go, but I am prioritizing stamina with my food. So we got the serpent stew, which is all about health, but then the muck shake and also the ice cream are both all about stamina, and the reason for that is because with the way that we're going to fight him, which you'll see later on in this video, I think this is the best way to go. But again, you can obviously look to do things your own way. Beyond that, obviously you want to get your rested buff up to full, and also it's a good idea to fight him as early as possible in the morning. I should say her, it's not him. I keep saying him, it's her. It is MODER, all right? It's means mother, so I got to get this right. But then we can portal back if we need to and sleep again. But basically, you want to try and avoid being there fighting MODER during the nighttime. The reason being that the mobs that spawn in the mountain biome are more difficult at nighttime, and there'll be more of them. Plus, you'll have reduced visibility for fighting. So then, in terms of the weapons that I've got here, I'm prioritizing the fire arrows, and I've got my Dragger bow up to level 3. So that's going to give both fire and poison damage every time we shoot her. I have got some melee attacks as well though, but I will primarily be shooting. And as you can see, I've got 200 arrows. We'll see how many of those that we get through here. But I'm going to go through melee attacks later on as well, and so you guys can check that out. You can see here I've just got my silver shield level 2 for this. Again, you could take like a serpent shield or something like that if you wanted the extra protection. But I think this is a pretty decent shield and also allows you to parry, which although is not useful for MODER, if you start getting attacked by wolves or stone golems during the fight, which could happen, then at least you're prepared for that. So you do need to think about the other mobs that may come and fight you during the fight. So that's kind of how I'm going to prepare. The next thing to do is to go spawn her in and show some of the fight tactics that I'm going to employ. Incidentally, guys, you can of course make up some of this stuff, frost resistance mead, if you want. The recipe on the right hand side right now. This will protect you a little bit more against MODER's frost attacks, so you can use that if you wish. So a couple final points, guys. If you want to have some spare armor and weapons and stuff like that in case you die, so that when you portal back through you can get to your grave a bit easier, you can do that. I think the way I'm fighting MODER, I don't necessarily need to do that, and I have got like reasonable stuff with me as well. I say I've got good armor, by the way, totaling 69 as you can see here, so I should definitely drop a like for that one, guys. But so that hopefully gives you like a reasonably good overview of where I'm at and what we're doing before the fight. And another thing you want to do is go to your spawn point and make sure you have the bone mass power available to you. This power obviously gives you a lot of buffs against any attacks you're going to get from the MODER fight, and will help to keep you protected and alive. Before I spawn in MODER, I'm going to have a look around, see if there's any mobs nearby. I can see there's a wolf up here, for example. I recommend you guys do the same. Just makes sense to take care of any mobs that are in the area before you spawn in the boss. And now that I'm happy that the area is nice and clear and we're ready to fight MODER, of course we're going to put in the final egg. So press number 4 there to put in the final egg. And if we go ahead and press E on the sacrificial altar, the sacrifice has been made. So until you press E, MODER won't spawn in, so you can keep your eggs there in the meantime. Oh, there's another wolf that I didn't see. Let's try and get rid of this dude before MODER comes in. And there he goes. All right, so now we got our bow. Where is MODER? Okay, she's up there, so let's try and get some hits in on her straight away. And one thing I want to try to do is not take pot shots. I only want to shoot if I feel pretty certain I'm going to hit her. And you can see there when she attacks, you've got a bit of time to walk away. Oh, I should activate my bone mass as well. Should have done that already. I was trying to show you the attack, so I got hit by it. But when she looks like she's about to shoot that, you do have some time there to kind of sprint away from her. And it gives you that option to not worry about having too much health for this fight, because you can just try and run away. So let's get a bit closer to her, okay? And I didn't block in time, but again, so she's gonna like shoot that like freeze thing out of her mouth even when she's on the ground there, as you see. Now I'm actually gonna have one of my potions, so I'm having it a bit early, but in trying to show you guys some stuff, I kind of messed up a couple times, so yeah. And of course we can just stand back here pretty safely at the moment and take some pot shots at her. She doesn't even seem that interested in us, although now we're shooting her, she is, but we got our pillar to kind of hide behind, so let's see how that works out. Okay, so we got a few shots off at her, and now I'm just gonna try and run up and melee her a little bit if we can get closer to her. So here she's gonna like, she sort of like swipes at us, and we're able to actually like block that without too much of a problem, and then she takes off again. So when she swipes, if you block with your silver shield, you can actually block most, if not all, of that damage. So you're not going to take any huge amounts of damage when she swipes at you. So again, here you see how the pillar there protected us completely from her aerial attack there, where she tried to like shoot the frost at us, and where's she gone now? Show her there. So that's why this pillar can be quite useful. Okay, once again, you see when we're behind this pillar here, she attacks at us. Again, because the attack's slow, like when she attacks, we get the chance to get behind the pillar relative to where she is, and it means that we're just not taking damage here. So basically, she can do damage to naturally spawned in like trees and rocks and stuff like that, but not to the man-made stuff, and that's why this is so useful in this fight. Okay, she has now landed here near us, so we can actually use the pillar to sort of protect against her a little bit. Let's block that as best we can. We didn't do great, but you can see here, so she will sometimes come down and land at us as well. And there we go, we block that a little bit as well. We get some hits in at her. And you see when we hit her, we actually do better damage than we do with our arrows. It's just, of course, a little bit more dangerous to hit her than it is to just, you know, be firing at her from a distance. And, okay, so big swipe there again. We block most of that. The silver shield here is doing the job. And again, she's going to do that. We're not taking much damage. We're able to get some hits in on her. But now I am needing to get like out of the way a bit here because we're running a bit low on stamina. But those are the melee attacks there that we can do to her. And that's pretty much the fight, guys. We're just going to repeat this process, making the most of attacking her either aerially or melee, depending on the situation. Sometimes you'll see that when you're fighting her, you'll get a little bit stuck underneath her like this. Now, what I'm finding when this happens is that I'm not actually taking any damage from her attacks. As long as I block them when she does them. Is she about to do one here? Maybe. But yeah, so just thought I'd mention this. This might happen to you guys too. But you see that I blocked and then I'm back out and I go back, give her a good few hits again, and it's not too bad again. And just get out of the way of this one. But yeah, the melee is definitely worth doing because you do so much more damage than when you're using the arrows. So it does speed the fight up quite a bit. And if you do get stuck underneath her, just make sure you block her attacks and you should be fine. Incidentally, you might be wondering why I'm actually using fire arrows, because I could use obsidian arrows, which would be better. You could also use needle arrows, which would be better again, but would mean taking on the plains prior to the fight. The reason I'm using fire, though, is I find that they are all that's really needed in order to win this fight, and they're so much easier to make than to spend your obsidian or indeed the needle arrows if you went down that route. So that's why I go for these, but obviously you guys can go for different routes if you wish. So as we get close to killing her, guys, you do of course want to get her drop. So one thing to think about is make sure, because she can fly around and stuff, that you make sure you kill her in somewhere where you're actually able to go and get all of her drops, and you can see them up there. And that is how we do the MODER fight. So let's pick up all of this stuff right here, and look at that, guys. Got all kinds of new things there, including the artisan table, which is what the tiers are used for. So here we go. Here are her drops, the dragon tiers right there, and of course the MODER trophy. So back at base now, if we go ahead and place down the artisan table just here, or just anywhere for now, you'll see that we can make all kinds of new things, including ovens and windmills and spinning wheels and all of that sort of stuff. In fact, as well, let's go ahead and take this inside real quick. Okay, now that it's inside and sheltered, if we place it down, this will be better because we can actually use it as well. And you can see you're able to craft and upgrade some things here later on in the game. Not something we're able to use right now, but this is basically the use of it. And you see that you use 2 dragon tiers in order to make that, which is partly why you want to be killing MODER. So some of the stuff is unlocked here. You can see you've got the blast furnaces, windmills, which are pretty cool, spinning wheels. So all of this comes into the making, obviously, later game food and also weapons and armor and stuff like that. So that is like one of the big progressions in the game and one of the reasons we want to get MODER killed. And the next thing to do, guys, is of course to take your MODER trophy along to spawn and activate it if you need it. But the ability for it is basically it'll give you the wind when you are sailing. So that's what the MODER trophy does. And there we go, 4 out of 5 now at our spawn point, making awesome progress here, which is pretty cool. Hopefully you don't think this episode has been dragging on too much. Yeah, dragon. All right, I'll leave it. But thank you for watching, guys. The dad jokes are of course coming. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Why do dragons sleep during the day? So they can fight nights. How can you tell how much a dragon weighs? Well, they come with scales. What do dragons call knights in armor? Tinned food. Why are dragons great storytellers? They all have tails. What's a dragon's favorite food? Hot wings. Why did the dinosaurs live longer than the dragons? Because they didn't smoke.